What's up, guys? Holding eyes with you here, bringing you Fairytail final season anime review. This was episode 301 or episode 23, depending on where you go watch it. 24. I'm sorry. Titled Mantle. This was a very, very good episode. A lot of stuff actually went down. We had the continuation of everyone doing their battles. We had Melody versus Zenkro, Julia versus Necro. We had Gray and Leon versus their teacher, Yor. We had Kaguya in the docks with Jarla's body, who she saved. Then we have Ezra versus Zenkro, Kurio, and the other girl with the pink hair from the Assassin Guild. I forget her name. I believe it's pronounced Ikogia. I'm probably butchering her name, so forgive me. But you have, everyone fighting their enemies and stuff, and at first it looks bad. It look like they're all about to catch an L. But everything turned around for the best. You have Gray pushing Leon to go his best because they fighting together against her, but he's not giving her his 100. And I know a lot of people was mad when this happened in the manga, saying that Gray and Leon should both be stronger than her at this time. So why are they struggling? But it makes sense for them to struggle because this is their teacher who have a better magic version than theirs and who knows them very well. So, and as mentioned, that emotional strain of trying to hit somebody who you really don't want to hit because they're close to you. So, but they got over that hill together and they took her out. Then you had Melody and Julia with their tag team. They took out their enemies. Luxus went overcharged and he took out Hades. Because he was fighting Hades, I forgot to mention that earlier. And Ezra scared away her 3 enemies. They had her pinned up in a tree and they were whipping her. Like they did in the Turtles arc. How they was bringing up her sensitivity and hitting her. Well, that was happening again. But Ezra gave them this fierce look and her eyes got red, with this red crimson aura, and she scared them away. And this is when Nidhart says something very impressive. He says, wow, this woman, Ezra, she reminds me of Lady Irene. Now, we have not seen Irene yet from this point, but something happened later on that I'm going to talk about that. But after that, she scares them away, and the tree that was holding her down dissipates. She falls. And Jalal and Kaguya comes into that point, and they realize how badly wounded she was. And you see it in his eyes. Jalal lost it seeing Ezra that badly hurt. And he was like, I'm going to commit one more sin. And he used Grand Chariot. Now, if you don't remember what Grand Chariot does, it's actually one, if I'm not mistaken, his most powerful spell. The sky opens up, and usually there's a whole bunch of meteor blasts that just rain down on the opponent. But technically, when he used it this time, he used it on the whole area. So the oceans, all the battleships, the docks, everything in that whole, Hergage town caught it. Except the places where he knows his allies were at. He ain't go that berserk that he wasn't focusing, but he went ham and he took him out in one shot. Easily. But, after that, they take her to the infirmary, and Jalal and his group does their thing, hunting everyone else down, and everything is going good. And they wake up, and we have this funny scene where Kaguya feels bad because she had to kiss Jalal for doing CPR, and she knows that Ezra likes him and vice versa. So as an apology, she ended up kissing Ezra. It was funny because Ezra was like, huh? She lost it. She went brain dead for a couple of minutes. And sadly, again, Luxus will be out of this arc for the remainder. That always happened with Luxus. And something always happened in the beginning where he has an epic fight. But then after the epic fight is done, something happens to him that he gets taken out. He won't be used no more for the rest of the fight, sadly. So we won't be seeing Luxus no more since his 2 epic fights against Hades and Wall. But as Ezra and her team go back to the guild to see what's going on, we switch back to the guild and we see Natsu and them talking about what they're going to do next. Because August is coming. And Natsu want to go fight August. And something very interesting happened with Brandish. Brandis offered, since I owe a debt to Lucy and I don't like to be in debt to nobody, I would do y'all a favor. Because August and this Irene person, which she brought up, are known as the two strongest, the male and strongest female. And August is known as the Calamity, where Irene is known as the Scarlet Despair. Now remember her nickname, the Garlic Despair. Scarlet Despair. Just keep that in mind, Scarlet Despair. And as this kind of goes on, she's like, I'll negotiate with him at least, so he won't attack y'all. Now, I don't really remember his name. He went by the name Bolt, Thunderbolt, but that's not his real name. The guy who messes with memory magic in the Fairytail Guild. He told the master not to believe her because she's lying, but Lucy was like, no, I trust her. And he got kind of upset at Lucy. And then Asher was like, fine, since everything's done and deal, I guess we could go fight him now. And, you know, we have that funny moment where Lucy's slapping him, saying, you hearing the conversation and stuff like that. Really funny, cute moment between them and the guild and stuff. Even though they're in this dangerous time, I like how they can still joke around and be themselves. They don't have, like, too much pent-up stress where they go out of character and, like, they forget to mess up and do things. So, that's one good thing about the Fairytail Guild. But, as that's discussed, we actually get to switch over to Irene. And we get to see her. And now for those that are anime only, use anime logic. Her name is Scarlet Despair. That's her nickname. She looked like an older version of Ezra. And earlier in the episode, Ninhart says that she resembles Irene. So I'm not going to say who she is, but in anime logic, she can only be one or two people. Either a relative or a clone. So, and there is a third option. The time travel option that could be like an evil Ezra from a future or something. Or maybe the evil Ezra back from Anima, when they went over there to that alternate verse. Ezra had to fight the other Ezra. It could be her. I'm not going to say who it is. I think it's pretty obvious who she is. But, yeah, we get to introduce to Irene, as you see in the thumbnail. Best girl, hands down. But, yeah, we see her and her two apprentices, and she's bringing up this interesting story about two goddesses, a dark one and a light one, that are, you know, from this, you know, Ishgard, and she's telling this tale to her two apprentice. And then her apprentice was like, oh, wow. The one in the white was like, it's cool that you know stories from Ishgard. And the one with the black cloak, she was like, duh, Master should know. She's from Ishgard. No, again, she's from Ishgard in her nickname. And she looks like Ezra. Keep that in mind. Because I know in the manga when it stated who she was, everyone was like, what? How? And it was just, everything was kind of obvious who she is. But again, for your animes only, I don't want to avoid it for you. But we did get to see some of her magic. One of her magic. She takes her staff and she hits the ground with it. And in the area where she's at, instead of it being cold and dark, it was like clarity showed up and grass and flowers started to bloom and it started to smell and look better. The cold dissipated and it started to become hot. And it was like, she completely changed the climate. Completely. And everyone's like, what? Then you have Sting and Rogue laid out with their guildmates crying because, you know, they lost horribly to these three monsters. And we get to see who the three monster is. It's Irene herself, and she has Bloodman with her. And this other guy who we have not seen yet named Lacard. So, and Lacard is a very important character, so keep him in mind. But, yeah, that was basically the end of it. You got Godzilla's group is going to go up against Irene's group. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about Bloodman, Irene, and Lacard because I don't want to give up spoilers because even though I review the anime, I do reread and review the manga as well. But what's about to come up next, a lot of anime onis, I know half of y'all are going to be like cool and the other half are going to be upset. Because this is what kind of this is where the story of this war arc gets a little bit concluded. And there's a lot of misconceptions that goes on and a lot of hate that goes towards it. Besides the regular hate fans of Fairytail. More hate going into it than nothing because of this certain steps that are about to come up. But when that come up, I will break it down and explain it to you in the best way possible. that's actually understandable. I know a lot of people like to hate on Fairytail, but a lot of these people don't read it fully or research it fully of what the hero is trying to like put out. They don't even read his epilogues or whatever. So, but yeah, episode 301 or episode 24, depending on when you watch it. Really great episode of Fairytail, the final season. Really great stuff. Can't wait for next week episode because I love Bloodman, Lacard, and Irene. Those are actually my 3 top favorite Springer members. So I'm happy that we get to see all 3 at once if they continue to follow the manga. I did hear supposedly because the way Hiro did it in the manga, a lot of people didn't like it and he was going to fix that in the anime. Now I'm not sure if A1 Pictures is going to collab with them and actually fix this from the anime and make a better version. I mean, a better version than the manga. Not really sure that yet, but this is going to be very good. Very epic stuff is about to come up. And a lot of trickeries are afoot. And a lot of revelations as well. But that's all I have for you guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more. Give this video a like. Again, tell me down below what your thoughts and opinions of the episode. For those that watched it and for those that have not watched it, I advise you to watch it. If you already watched it, go watch it again. Great episode, great stuff. I'm just really, really hyped and can't wait for Irene. My favorite of the Spriggans. Best girl, hands down. But that's all I have for you guys. Peace out and have a good one.